We have an update tonight on a News 4 Tucson investigation. A former pet groomer in Tucson has just stood trial for a charge of animal cruelty after almost 2 years of delays.
So this case goes back to November 2023 at the Sabino Canyon Pet Resort. A local bulldog named Walter was being groomed when suddenly he showed signs of distress. He ultimately died during that visit, and some of his final moments were captured on video.
Now, the actions or inactions of one of the groomers have been called into question by Pima Animal Care Center investigators. We must disclose that the owner of the dog is a manager here at News 4 Tucson, but has had no involvement in the decision to cover this story or any of our editorial decisions.
News 4 Tucson's chief investigative reporter, Chorus Nylander, broke the story and was inside the courtroom during Friday's trial. You join us live now outside of Tucson's City Court. Chorus.
Yo, Monica, even though this is a misdemeanor city court matter, I've seen this case drag on longer than some murder cases that I've covered. On Friday, there was a one-day bench trial here. Prosecutors are seeking jail time in this and laid out all of the evidence for why they feel that this pet groomer prolonged Walter's suffering.
What the state is expected to show is that Susan Arnold was in charge and custody of Walter. She inflicted unnecessary and unreasonable cruelty on him, and by her hand he was subjected to pain, suffering that was completely unnecessary.
Almost 2 years after English bulldog Walter died while being groomed at the Sabino Canyon Pet Resort, his groomer Susan Arnold
versus Susan Arnold
was put on trial for animal cruelty Friday here at Tucson City Court. The prosecution's key evidence, this roughly 2.5 minutes of video. Walter is on the grooming table with a muzzle Pima Animal Care Center investigators say is not properly fitted with what they claim is an inappropriate belly loop. He appears to struggle. His legs can be seen moving, then they suddenly go limp. He makes a gasp for air and appears to become lifeless. He never left that table alive.
They have a grooming loop on him that is pulled taut. Susan is leaning on the animal, which would be pressing weight, which would decrease the ability for the dog to breathe as well. That to me is neglect and disregard for the well-being of the animal. Walter was in distress in this video. Walter was fighting for air, and despite him fighting and trying to get help and suffering, nobody did anything to help him.
All bulldogs are brachycephalic. Their facial structure impacts their ability to breathe. Muzzles can be deadly. When questioned by investigators 5 months after Walter's death, investigators felt Arnold showed little remorse and lied, claiming Walter didn't have a muzzle on.
Just went bye-bye.
Okay. Did he have a muzzle on?
No, because those kind of dogs can't really put a muzzle on their face.
Arnold's defense attorney disputes the muzzle was improper and that his client didn't try to help. That video, he says, doesn't prove any of the state's claims. He also points to a gross necropsy report done on Walter, which couldn't determine a cause of death, though noted the potential contributing factors. He questioned why Walter's owner didn't seek a more thorough necropsy from the U of A. He also questioned the PAC investigators' experience.
He swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
He called Drew Stern to testify, a retired veterinarian with over 30 years of experience. Stern watched the video and found no issue with how Arnold handled the situation.
Anything at all in that video or anything that you read in the autopsy report that points to Miss Arnold as somehow responsible for causing this animal any suffering?
No. Arnold retired from Sabino Canyon Pet Resort soon after the incident. Her attorney called the owner and their daughter and son-in-law who helped manage the company to testify. They claim they've never had issues with Arnold, and she was a professional and caring groomer with over 50 years of grooming experience. The prosecution points to that experience as a reason why she should have recognized Walter's alleged suffering.
This is absolutely unnecessary. Pain and suffering and fear that were inflicted on Walter for no reason.
Arnold's attorney questioned our coverage of the case because Walter's owner is a manager here at News 4 Tucson, but had no involvement in our coverage or editorial decisions.
You're telling this court you had no standing whatsoever, no say in the fact that the investigation was launched by your investigative reporter who's here today recording the events.
That is correct. I had no connection to that.
In the end, the judge couldn't reach a ruling on Friday and is taking the case under advisement, meaning a written ruling will come later. I gave Susan Arnold an opportunity to speak for herself outside of the courthouse.
I was just wondering if there was anything you wanted to say or how you're feeling about things.
I have no comment.
And the judge is expected to come back within the next 20 days with a ruling on this case after reviewing all of the evidence. Again, this was a bench trial, so there is no jury involvement in this case. That other woman you saw in the video was the bather, Rosa Cardenas. She was also charged with animal cruelty, but prosecutors have since dropped those charges. It is possible they're waiting to see the outcome of this trial because they have the ability to refile those charges. That has not happened at this point, but it seems we're going to wait to see what the judge decides in this case at this point. I have to mention the owner of Walter did sue the Sabino Canyon Pet Resort. That was settled out of court. We'll keep you updated. Reporting live outside Tucson City Court, Cora Snylander, News 4 Tucson.